Hello everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be going through my top 5 disappointments of 2021 in the gaming industry, or games, I guess. Probably a better way of putting it. And this year's not been without its disappointments. I actually didn't struggle too much once I sat down and thought about it. There was a consideration at one point where I wasn't going to make this particular video, or maybe just have shortened it down. But no, it looks like we're going, we've got all 5 slots pretty much full. Most of them as well on, pretty, well, I think anyway, decent reasoned, or reasons for that. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure many people will disagree with me, as as always with these lists. I guess with any sort of list like this, it's purely a matter of opinion. Mine's no different. So yeah, so let's begin, and we'll kick off with number 5 is Deathloop, a game I bought on launch, and I must say a big part of this is down to the Denuvo, I don't know, whatever it's called, DRM that is on that particular game. And I've got to say that it made the day one issues pretty bad, pretty clunky in terms of trying to play it. I did play it on stream, of course, which if anyone that joined that will know it wasn't brilliant. It was okay. And I've got to say, I got pretty bored of the unique game mechanics very early on, and maybe that was due to the fact that I didn't particularly enjoy the Dishonored series, and I guess maybe a lot of the flaws from that sort of came out in, for me, a lot of the aspects of, not necessarily flaws, but a lot of the aspects of Dishonored that I wasn't keen on came out in Deathloop, albeit it did improve on many things. Of course, I think the gunplay was a lot better, although the ability still lacks a certain zest, I guess, of actually being really useful. Maybe it's just because I'm not okay with the limitations that are in there. Like for the blink, for example, drops you off the edge of buildings sometimes when you've clearly got the marker, on a building, and I don't know, maybe something I'm missing from there, but that really annoyed me and can really break the immersion. I wasn't too keen on I was keen before. I was keen before on the idea of having, Juliana be played by other players, and they come in and you invade other people's games. I know that's something that's been quite common in the Dark Souls series, but for me, it's not. It wasn't good or interesting to me to have that, and been on both ends of it, both fine. I mean, a bit better than obviously facing off against the computer, but I don't know, it didn't really do anything for me in that regard, and yeah, it felt really uninspired. I think, when I saw and heard about it, I thought, this might be one of those that's, does something a bit different. I sort of am really on the fence about roguelike games. I do like them. I really enjoyed Hades last year, but I also don't like them. It's, you get a lot taken away from you for what is sometimes silly mistake, or which you get as part of skill gameplay. But in this one, it's more the case of you have to be dying and ending your loop, and you have to do things in the right way at the exact right time. And to go through and complete that, I think would have annoyed me quite a lot. Now, it is quite low down on the list, so it's not a big grievance whatsoever, but it is something that was disappointment this year, and continues to be, and I don't actually want to go back and play it now, which is a shame. But yeah, you might have had a good fun or a good time with it, which I'm glad if you have. But for me, it was just a bit of disappointment as to what I was hoping it might be, I guess. So you can blame my expectations for that if you like. And number 4 is Creative Assembly, which is a weird one. Don't know if it was a Creative Assembly decision or a Sega decision, but I've categorized this as Total War 3 Kingdoms, and they've dropped support for it. They're not producing any more DLC, many more updates, and it sort of feels like a waste because they'd come out with a really decent base game that I fully enjoyed, personally. I mean, any sort of Total War game I can get into, even though I'm not particularly into Warhammer, I can get into the Warhammer games. But the Three Kingdoms one is a genre, period in history, even though it's a novel, but that I really enjoy, having read the books, having watched the TV series, having played a lot of the Dynasty Warriors games, a lot of the Three Kingdoms games. And like really, realizing there's a rich narrative there in the sort of interactions between these key characters. And some of that did come across in the game, but the DLC packs were pretty uninspired. You can tell that Creative Assembly very much runs on, especially in the Warhammer series, where they will just add in new factions into campaign maps and totally change the course of a playthrough almost. I know obviously they're not added in while you're playing, but should you start again, things will change exponentially, and that's not a problem. It's annoying, but it's not a problem. But there was so much more that could have been done with Total War Three Kingdoms, and I hope, even though it's not really a thing as much nowadays, but I hope that there's some modding community or people that do take up the reins on it and make it as it should be. Like I said, things like an encyclopedia in terms of characters, what they're famous for, what they did, more unique skills and unique portraits. I mean, the idea is that, and character models, of course, the idea is that you run the same issue as you did with Shogun, which, by the way, is probably one of my favourite Total War games, if not the favourite one. And this could have been very much up there, and it's now, because of the fact that what they put out now is over, that's done, they miss the opportunity to have it hit that same level as Shogun 2. And Shogun 2 is a game that I can go back and just play because I thoroughly enjoy it. I love it. I think it's great. I think I love the art style and the way the game flows and the battle flows. It's like not I'm going to say the word perfect, but it is as close to as can be, I think, for this type of game. Some mods have come really close in terms of adding back some of that we sort of have lost over the years. But yeah, I don't know. The game's not a disappointment for me. Three Kingdoms, I can enjoy it for what it is, but the fact that they've dropped it for me is a true disappointment without fully realizing what the game could have been. And I think I maybe sort of banked on that when I first played it, that there would be reason for me to go back and play it again through updates and such, and maybe a bit more love and care put into it and the characters and their interaction, but they haven't. So yeah, once again, my own disappointment, but there you go. And we'll move on. So, next one is Forza Horizon 5, even though it's the third one on the list, not the fifth one on the list. Forza Horizon, everyone, it was hyped up to high heaven. I hadn't really played many of the Forza Horizon games. I played the first Forza games, and I thought they were a really good competitor to Gran Turismo, which is one of my favourite racing games. But I really enjoyed the Forza series, like 1, 2, and 3, I think. Really good. Good, like not full serious racing games, but like not cheesy or anything in any way. And I always felt as though if you wanted that, you'd go and play Burnout Paradise, something like that. I mean, but that is effectively what Forza Horizon 4 and 5 are. They're just Burnout, aren't they? I don't know why I'm asking that question, but they are effectively, without the really unique crashing and car mechanics and such. Over the top, or maybe not over the top, but probably one of the best aspects of Burnout, or at least historically. And Forza Horizon has just got nothing special about it. It's abrasive. It's so loud. It's like, it's her Horizon party. It's like a festival, and there's going to be music and dancers and noise and party poppers and streamers. And it's like, gosh, every time I load the game, I have to be in a party mood. We're in Mexico, and everything has to be overly saturated and vibrant, and the graphics aren't even that good, which is normally a given, for a racing game. Usually graphics pretty darn good, car models and that sort of thing. But they do have a slight caveat to that, but that's not for today's video. Something I've noticed that I'll be talking about in a separate video about something else, but it's to do with racing games. And yeah, I don't know. That's just the vibe it gave me. It's not serious, but it's not like race, Mario Kart, effectively, is what I was going to basically like sort of the imagery I'm going for, or Crash Team Racing, stupid kart racing, which, by the way, fine. Those games, great. I play Mario Kart 8 all the time, or at least very often. So, that side of things is good. The two extremes are both really good, but they've gone, at least from last time I played it, more towards the Mario Kart than the Project Cars or Gran Turismo. So yeah, for me it has very little appeal, and getting bonus points for running down cacti is fine, I suppose, and then these levels up. Look, I think for me it fits in the same category as all the Ubisoft open world games. It feels like copy and paste, low effort, bright, vibrant, over the top, oversaturated, over bright, overhyped, over gleeful. Yeah, just lacking some sensibility. And games should be fun, of course, but to me, Forza Horizon is abrasive, and it's a real disappointment because I was more hoping for something a little bit more grounded, I guess. And number 2 is a reoccurring one on the list. Last year it was purely Ubisoft by itself. All that stuff still stands. Everyone's gone quiet about it now because it's not vogue. It's not, on the top of people's agenda to rag on Game Company. New game, please. Far Cry 6, very nice. I forgive you. That's not the way I operate when it comes to, morals. It is morals, really, for me. And there needs to be a certain amount of efficacy in everything that we consume, media, food, all the rest of it, living accommodation. That we should have more of an ethical, moral compass, I think, when it comes to these things. Like something stupid like buying free-range eggs. It's good to know that chickens have been allowed out, not caged. Obviously, organic, better, much better. But yeah, we all get to make these choices. And luckily for me, obviously, before with Ubisoft, very easy, low quality, cookie cutter, open world games. I've made that opinion well known many times now, and it's not changed with any new releases. So the fact that, they still have a lot to own up to and a lot to come out about and come clean about, and, presumably, or probably, certainly, in fact, more people need to be held responsible. And I guess just the pure amount of negative publicity they would get from fully admitting such issues would be really detrimental, because then it would become not just a game headline type of thing. It would be a national news or world news. And yeah, I don't know. When you start getting that many eyes on it, like with loot boxes, then becomes a whole thing, doesn't it? So yeah, not to let Ubisoft off the hook at all. They're on here. They're in number 2. They are joined by another game company this year, and that's Activision Blizzard, and in particular, I guess, Bobby Kotick. Same sort of thing as Ubisoft. Although having said that, Activision Blizzard are actively trying to make moves to oust Bobby Kotick, although he owns so much of the company that's pretty much impossible. A bit like Tesla trying to get rid of Elon Musk, in a way. Probably a decent analogy. And yeah, it's just not on, and I can't support those type of companies, and I can't allow myself to want to say nothing, but then I also can't allow it to. Wait, no, I just can't allow myself to say nothing. I think that's the thing. And I can't allow myself to ignore it, which is the same thing. So yeah, there you go. I just said the same thing 3 times. Anyway, the point is that, we should think twice about where our morality comes when we, involve in anything we consume, I think. And for each people, that will be different. For each person, that will look a different way. And for me, it's about talking about this on this video and other opportunities, and say that it is a disappointment. And until these companies come clean and admit wrongdoing, and most importantly, penalise the people that have done this. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stuff in the news about Ghislaine Maxwell and that whole saga. And not to say that these are directly comparable 1-to-1, but there's a lot of similarities that run through the whole thing. And until people are held to account, I think it's difficult to say that they're someone that I would like to support. And of course, it's difficult because I said this last year, and obviously it's come out now with the whole Activision Blizzard thing, but there will be more game companies, there will be more media companies, there will be more people that we really like in general, that the popular people like, who have done some horrendously bad things. And that is just the way of the world, unfortunately. Much like people being shocked that number 10 Downing Street were having Christmas parties. I never thought for a second that they weren't. The only shock was that it came out. And that is basically what's going on in a lot of these institutions. So, unfortunately, until stuff does come out, you have to give people and companies the benefit of the doubt, even if you think they're really shady. But once they do, if you've got your inklings, then brilliant. Stick with your gut, I would say. But yeah, once they come out, there's absolutely no defending, and that's why it gets to be in this video for as long of a segment as it's been. So apologies if you've been bored on it, but I wanted to raise it again as an issue. It is a disappointment. The game industry continues to disappoint me anyway, and this sort of stuff just makes it worse. And number 1 is Back 4 Blood. They're the winner of the most disappointing game of 2021. Left 4 Dead, probably one of my favourite franchises. Games that sort of got me into downloading Steam, playing on Steam, all the rest of it. Oh dear. You've got on the face of it, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's a match made in heaven. We've got these great new engines that we can do a really good job with if, Left 4 Dead was recreated in one of them. And you've got people from the original team who developed the original Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. It's a spiritual successor. It's going to be perfect. It's, had all this influence from all the years that Left 4 Dead has been out, and people have been crying for a new version of it, to get a new fix of the same feeling. And my goodness, what we were delivered was a pile of dead zombies. And we want alive zombies so that they can be shot. Well, yeah, I mean, it's really, really difficult to find many positives with Back 4 Blood. I'll go through some of the issues I had with it. So bad connection, lag, the weightlessness and also sluggishness of the guns. It's difficult to hit anything. It's like there's a huge amount of input lag for a game that you're playing locally. There is very little differentiation between zombie types at times, especially when there's lots of hoarding. There's a large amount of dropout, engine crashes, stuff that you don't experience on other games. Now you might say to me, well, vanburman, that was when you were playing a lot of the beta. And yes, I chalked it up to being beta issues, even though, as we all know, betas are effectively early access at this point into a game. However, when the main game came out, it had exactly the same issue. And, well, a lot of exactly the same issues. And although now there was, now also had clipping issues as well, several times. So, you fix a couple of things and you gain a couple more bugs. So, I don't know. And it's not just me that's felt this way. I've spoken to my friends in real life who have said similar things organically before I mentioned it. I said I'd played it, and they said they'd had these issues with it. And they didn't feel as though the game was responsive, as though, the guns were weighty and all that sort of stuff. And I said, yeah, I've had exactly the same thing. And I even said then that I felt like it was just a beta issue. And then I got the Xbox Game Pass, played it through the Xbox launcher, which I guess is pretty much what it is. And yeah, no discernible improvements. Like, not that anything necessarily really got worse, or not worse to any degree. But yeah, trying to play through it I didn't bother. I played some online, thought maybe it's an issue of online, played offline, same issues. So it's not a connection issue or bad servers. There's something wrong on maybe on an engine level or a coding level that I experienced. Maybe it's been fixed now, maybe not. The fact of the matter is that, that time is over. I don't trust the game to be that good. It would have to have a real big renaissance for me to go back and play it. And I can't say, oh, guys, let's get on, let's play some Back 4 Blood the same way I would have done with Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead was a game that was massively collaborative with a lot of my friends, and 2 games that I spent hours on playing maps through, playing campaign missions through. And yeah, Back 4 Blood had a free hit at this for me, and failed miserably. That's where we are. I don't I wish I could be more positive. I would like to be more positive about it. And I think the fact that I thought it was a free hit, and that it seemed to tick all the boxes: spiritual success, Left 4 Dead, similar imagery, similar style. It didn't really have to do much. I think that was the problem. It didn't have to do much, and it failed to do that little that it needed to do to be successful. I don't know if that's the popular... I've not really seen many reviews on Back 4 Blood, so I'm not that influenced on it. I saw what I saw and then got out. Even though I do still have it downloaded, I could launch it anytime, so I could try it again. I don't know. No, the moment's gone. People in my vicinity are not playing it either, so very little sort of desire or will to go and do that. But, these things will happen. Games will disappoint from time to time, and some games will also be a surprise. So which is coming up in the next one, because there are a few of them. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your disappointments for the year. If it was me, that is fine. But if we can focus on video games, that would be great. But no, with that, guys, I'll see you very soon. Stay tuned for the next video in this, I won't say playlist, but series of top games of 21, when we're doing the top 5 games of 2021. See you very soon, guys. Bye for now.